right, so I'm at 120 BPM for this one. If you've seen like any of my other videos, you know that I usually start with chords, but I decided to try a little bit of a different creative approach today. And so I found this vocal loop actually on Loop Cloud, and this is what it sounds like with no processing. Saying nothing that I see. And I'm going to show you guys how to get like that underwater kind of like almost that like Drake vocal effect. I don't think Ableton has a brick wall EQ, but if you have Pro Q, you can do it with this one. So I just have a low pass on here to cut off all the lows that we don't need. Saying nothing. I'm just going to add another point here. That I see. And I'm going to change this to brick wall. And we're kind of getting that underwater effect. Add some reverb to it. Sounds a little bit better. So that's just like a really easy way. It's almost like downsampling. It's basically hard cutting off all of these higher frequencies. And it gives you that nice kind of underwater effect. So let's start off with that. And I think I'm going to add some piano. So this one sounds pretty jazzy, and a lot of that is because of the extended chords I'm using. And I won't go super deep into music theory because I know not everybody wants to learn about that stuff. But if you're at all interested in learning about the different types of chords, what makes them extended, inversions, chord progressions, and building better chord progressions, leave me a comment below and I can work on a video for that. But just briefly, we have the G minor chord. I believe this is a G minor 11 down to the F major chord, the E flat major, back to that F. This is an inversion of that F major chord, and then back to the F major again. And then I'm using a lot of syncopation here as well. And basically syncopation just means rhythm. So not everything is starting on the one of the bar. So we have this starting kind of on the and of the two here. So it kind of gets that rhythm going, makes it feel a little more jazzy as well. And then I have my usual processing on this piano. I love Ableton's velocity effect just to make things sound a little more mellow, especially for that R&B style. Great for lo-fi as well. I've got some EQ on here with a high pass cutting off some of these lows that we can't hear, and then a high shelf damping some of those highs. A compressor that I have already sidechained to my kick. And then I have some Valhalla Vintage Verb here set on the ambient setting, which is a little bit smaller reverb than like the concert hall. And then of course some EQ here is always a good thing to do as well. All right, next I want to go ahead and layer this with a pad. So I'm going to hold Control, drag this up to the next level here. Okay, so now that I have all of these nice block chords, I have all of these quantized right on, so it hits right on the beat. And I do this even for my lo-fi beats, which you can kind of get away with it being a little off the grid. But I feel like it just makes it a little more stable, especially with a pad where it already has kind of that delayed attack to make it hit right on the beat or even a little bit before, so it doesn't feel like it's completely out of time and slowing things down. So this is a really nice kind of sparkly pad from Analog Lab. Mysterian's preset, I think I just changed the brightness a little bit to tone it down. And then same processing as that piano. So the piano already has a pretty good melody in it, but I kind of want to add like a little bit of an ARP too to give it like one more melodic effect. So one of the things I like to do for an ARP is find notes that sound good with every chord in my progression. And so basically it kind of creates this nice tension as it goes through the progression. So the progression is changing while this chord or this ARP stays the same. So I found these notes here, and I have it set to just like a bell sound from Analog Lab. It's this Glocken preset. And basically, I'm just going to set this so you can hear what it sounds like with just the chords. So the processing for this ARP, I have just a bandpass cutting off all the highs and the lows. I have halftime on here, 40%, so if I turn it off, definitely gives it a little darker vibe. I have shaper box on here with this panning I put in, so basically it's just going from the left ear to the right. And then of course some Valhalla vintage verb. And this one I'm actually using a different mode than the piano and the chords, just because I wanted this one to be a little bit more ambient. All right, let's go ahead and get some drums in here. For these hats, I've actually split them into 2 different MIDI tracks here. So I have just kind of that 2-step pattern, and then all of the rolls that I added, I kind of just put it into a different track and then automated some panning on it. Yeah, I'm going to drag this kick pattern up to my 808 and just kind of make a pattern from that so they're matching. So a really simple 808 pattern, basically just following the root notes of the chords, and I just added this little kind of glide at the end. So last thing I want to do is just add a simple perk. So I found this tambourine sound, a slight bit of EQ, and then thermal, which is giving it this really nice kind of like delay rhythm. Starting off with just those piano chords, the pad, and the ARP, and I have an auto filter automated to kind of bring that one in. We drop right into the chorus. And the verse. Take the vocal out and the extra perk. And then for the second half of the verse, I have that ARP just kind of coming back in again, and then dropping out some of the drums to make the drop into the second chorus a little more impactful. All right, I think that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.